Well, hello, everybody. If you're joining us now, we are live Q&A, the Unlock the Bible Live, Unlocking Truth Live, and we're waiting for folks to roll on in. Um, if you're joining us right now, you're either joining us through Rumble or YouTube or X. Facebook does not cooperate with us. It will not let me live stream to the Bible Mysteries podcast Facebook page. So if you're in our live chat room, please give us a shout out, say hello, tell me if you can hear, hopefully, and see. Looks like folks are just now starting to roll in.
Awesome.
Sandy is with me tonight. Say hello, Sandy.
Hello, everybody. Glad you could join us today.
John Potts, my co-host, is not with us tonight because John is in the middle of a move, which can be very challenging, I'm sure. So he sends his regards, and he will definitely be with us the next time we do our live Q&A in May. But tonight, Sandy's going to pinch hit. Hi, Dawn. Says it looks good and sounds good. Thank you, Dawn.
Hey,
Good to have
Jeff.
you with us. Oh, Jeff has joined us from, I don't see that one yet. It hasn't popped up from my feed yet.
Okay, yeah. So these guys must be coming over from YouTube, right? Are you guys at YouTube?
I've got 6 in YouTube, 5 in Rumble so far. And Dawn is joining us from YouTube. I don't see when people join, I just see when they comment. There's Mr. Club, which I think is Arnulfo, unless I've forgotten already who that is. There's Arlene, hello, from Rumble. So I should let you know that we are live streaming using the Rumble Studio. This is a new tool. It's on the web. We're trying it out. There's things we like about it. There's things I would like to change about it. One of which is why can't we stream to our our Facebook Bible Mysteries podcast channel. It only lets me stream to the Scott Mitchell, which is my personal thing, which I don't put a whole lot in there. I just had to have it. So Mr. Club is viewing from YouTube as well. No, Arlene, you don't need to pop into YouTube. You can stay right where you are. You should be able to see. I guess I'm not sure, Sandy. Do you know? Can people see the live chat from both places? I'm not thinking
Yeah.
they can.
Yeah. So
They can.
you're live on both,
So what I'm saying though is if someone is in Rumble, are they seeing the chat from YouTube as well?
Oh, well, that I don't know.
Okay.
Probably not.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe they don't. So, but that's okay. We see your questions. And so,
Yeah,
Arlene says she sees what she types only. So yeah, you're not going to see what the people in YouTube say. However, it's half and half right now, 11 in Rumble, 11 in YouTube. So one thing you could do, and Sandy, why don't you go ahead and post the links into the chat room. Thank you, Oswaldo. And Jeff says he can see both. And I think there might be a setting, I'm not sure, but I think you would possibly have to open both platforms if you want to see both. I'm not exactly sure. Let's see, stream redirect. Currently streaming to Rumble, YouTube, and X, all platforms. We'll leave that alone. I don't want to change that. Right now, I'm afraid to do anything. I might break it. So, Mr. Glove says, I have the notification from Rumble. Okay. Yeah, so I think you could either open them both and watch both if you want to. So anyway, now that you're all here, welcome, welcome, welcome. We praise God for each of you. We're happy that you're with us tonight. As I stated earlier, John's busy trying to get a house ready to sell. And so he's not with us tonight. Sandy, my lovely and gracious wife, is helping me today, our producer. All the good content you see, all the email updates, all the cool video intros and everything else, that's done by Sandy. Sandy, say hello again. Sandy. She finally came to her senses and left me. Sandy, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry.
Okay.
I'm putting things in here.
Oh, okay, you're busy. Well,
I,
by the way, folks, I want you all to know that today, April 25th, is Sandy and my 37th wedding anniversary.
and we're spending
So,
it with you guys.
and we're spending it with you. She is the love of my life. She is my heart and my soul. And thank you, Sandy, for everything you do to help us with this ministry, because I could not do it without you. I could probably do it without John, but I couldn't do it without Sandy.
So why don't you tell them why I just posted this text or link in there?
Yeah, so the link that says S Mitchell, that came from S Mitchell 14 from Rumble, those links are, and you may want to put them also in YouTube if you want to go over there, Sandy. But is that Ryan Peterson's link?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm not sure I'm ready to give him that one yet, but that's okay. Well, no,
I
that's
thought
all right.
that's what you told me to give. Sorry.
No, I was saying give them the links to all of the Rumble, it was in the email that you sent out, But no, you just jumped ahead of me because you're ready, and I wasn't ready yet. We are going to be going to Ryan Peterson's room for his Thursday night theology. That is the URL that Sandy posted in the chat room there. That I know it's in Rumble. I don't know if you can see it in YouTube yet, but it is, Ryan's room is a YouTube link. Now, having said that, let me tell you what boneheaded thing I did. Ryan and I discussed this week about us starting at 8 o'clock for my Q&A and then going to his room at 9 o'clock, because I thought 9 o'clock was when he started, and I even told him that. But I got his invitation and it was for 8 o'clock. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go for 30 minutes, and then we're going to swap over. We're going to end this live Q&A, and we're going to go over to Ryan's room. And you can continue if you want to ask questions there, but Ryan will be the moderator and I will co-host with him. So sorry about the confusion on that. Ryan had been starting at 9 o'clock for years, and last February started at 8 o'clock, changed it to 8 o'clock. And I didn't know that, and he didn't think that I didn't know that. So we were, this is proof positive why men should never plan events ever. Only women are good at putting those pieces together. So having said all that, come 8:30, we're going to be ending early here, and we're going to be sending you over to the YouTube live. He's also on Facebook if you want to look him up, Judgment of the Nephilim on Facebook. I will be a guest on Ryan's show, and so we just had a crossing over of time there. But I do want you to come on over. Yeah, he's actually going to start at 8:25 because he's waiting for us. So he's accommodating us, and we're accommodating him. We're just going to meet in the middle, like the country song says. And the first question from William, I love. Why isn't Sandy getting to be on video? Well, I tried, William. She refuses to do it. I don't know what the issue is, but she will not come on camera.
Maybe next time.
Yeah. You always say that. Yeah, and she's so much better looking than I am, so I don't know why she won't do it. It would probably vastly increase our listenership and our viewers. So let's go. Sandy, did you have anything you want to say before we get?
Well, I do want to welcome Jessica. She's new. Hey, I'm new. So happy to come to live. We are just so glad you're here. Wonderful. And yeah, I'm excited to have all the news and our older people, our seekers.
Yeah, our seekers, we are here. And for everybody that's new, make sure you give us a shout out and say, hey, I'm new. But for those of you that are seasoned veterans here, thank you for staying with us and working with us through the technical challenges here. This platform, I think we're testing because we know that eventually YouTube is probably going to shut us down. And yes, Jeff's right. One of the Bible mysteries. And so we're just preparing for that. We know the day is coming. And anyway, so I'm going to start off with one question I have, and we're going to be looking for your questions to be posted in here. We might not get to as many tonight before we switch over to Ryan's program, but this is from our NILFO, which I think is Mr. Clubb. Mr. Clubb, please correct me if I'm wrong with that. But he had emailed me last time, and he says, hey, Brother Scott, I hope all is well. My question is, during the 1,000-year millennial reign of Christ, what happens to the fallen angels? That is such a great question. We know that Satan is thrown into the pit, but what of the other angels that were released? Thank you and God bless. Wow, that's such a good question on Ilfo, and I'm so glad you asked it. And I think about that a lot because the Bible literally does not say anything specific about that. We see where the devil is chained and thrown in the bottomless pit. We see where the beast and the false prophet in Revelation 19 are cast alive into the lake of fire. My guess would be that you are going to see all of the angels also thrown into the lake of fire. And I am assuming it is going to be at the beginning of the 1,000-year reign of Christ. And the only reference I have for that we can glean from is in Matthew 25. So I'm going to grab my Bible here, and I'm going to turn to Matthew 25. And I want to say it's about verse 40. Whoops, I got to get my microphone around my, I have to take my glasses off to read my Bible. So this is where starting in verse 31 is where the final judgment takes place between the nations after Jesus returns and sits on the throne. He separates the nations between on the left hand and the right, sheep and the goats. And the goats are on the left hand, and he says unto them in verse 41, then shall he say also unto them on the left hand, depart from me, ye cursed, into everlasting fire prepared for the devil and his angels. And he goes on to explain why, which I won't get into. But the point is the fire, everlasting fire, I believe he's referring to the lake of fire. And he says he's prepared for the devil and his angels. So Arnulfo, my guess would be that the fallen angels are thrown into the lake of fire right at the beginning of the 1,000-year reign of Christ. Okay, that's the only reference I have for anything to answer that definitively. So yeah, that's where I think it's going to be. Dawn has a question. What is your opinion on the Logos app to use as a study aid? I don't use it, Dawn, so I don't have an opinion about it. If I did, I'd certainly tell you. And so, yeah, I couldn't even give you if anybody in this chat is using the Logos app and has an opinion about it, please feel free to share that with Dawn, because I don't use Logos. The only study thing I use is called Olive Tree, and it's just a Bible app. I am not one to use study guides or study apps or anything like that. Over the years I have, but my two main study resources all my life have been the Bible, the Strong's Concordance, and a Webster's 1828 dictionary. Now I'm getting more and more into the Hebrew language. Thank you to Jeff Dodson, who's with us tonight. And he shared some things about that. So I'm learning a little bit more. So I'm going to start counting Jeff as another of my resources. So he's a living, breathing resource for that. But that's all I really use. And then, of course, the internet, and I search things. Tam Sharp says, did you download all your video? Hopefully. I don't know what you're talking about, Tam.
Does it mean upload to Rumble, perhaps? Because we've it stopped that break between YouTube and Rumble, right? So I'm not sure.
I'm not sure what that means. Yeah, I'm afraid I don't understand that because I'm not the technical guy. I can promise you that. But I'll move on down. Let's see, Oswaldo, is there something wrong with the UTB Now app? I tried logging in. Oh, that's something I need to tell everybody. So if you've been listening to the latest messages, we're also announcing it on the podcast, and we're sending out our emails. By the way, if you are not checking your junk mail for the constant contact emails that Sandy sends out every week to give you updates, you are missing out on important information. And I know a lot of you are asking the same questions, and it tells me that you're not reading those emails. So we are changing everything to consolidate into one website. We are spread out over 5 different resources. We're going through some growing pains. We started with one idea, we morphed into another, and now we're getting rid of the UTB Now website and the UTB Now app. You can still give and donate and do everything like you always did before using the link on Bible Mysteries Podcast where it says donate. We're going to improve that website. We're going to make it better, easier, and everything else, hopefully for subscribers and whatnot. But you're going to have a one-stop shop for everything. Eventually, we'll put the content of UTB Now on Bible Mysteries Podcast. Okay? So just bear with us. What you're experiencing is expected behavior. We ended that contract with Subsplash. We no longer have an app called UTB Now. but we're going to put all that content on the website. And you can just use your phone or whatever to watch videos directly from our website, Bible Ministries Podcast, which, by the way, is going to direct you to Rumble, where we're stored. Right, Sandy? Tell me if I'm getting that wrong.
That's right.
Okay.
So all the videos will be on Rumble.
Right. All the videos will be on Rumble. We'll eventually add the music back up. There were a few little bells and whistles we were putting in the YouTube Now app. But yeah, we're making changes. And we're trying to make it so we're so spread out over so many things, and I struggle to even figure out how to turn on a light switch. So if we're having that much problems keeping people organized and subscribers, we're not tech support, and people write us a lot. How do I do this? How do I do that? And we don't know. So we're trying to get everything in one place and make it easier for you and for us. Okay. So thanks for asking, Oswaldo. Let's see. Question from Tom. Was final judgment of them executed before the millennium? I'm thinking, Tam, you mean the angels, as we were talking about earlier with our Nufos question. I would assume, yes, that was their final judgment when they were cast into the lake of fire. Now, I will admit to you that it's very possible that that statement of Jesus in Matthew 25, verse 41, isn't necessarily at that point in time. It could be he's saying to them, depart into everlasting fire, and that's going to be at the great white throne judgment at the end of the 1,000 years. But I think ultimately they'll be judged. In other words, they may end up in hell for 1,000 years, the people, the goats on the left hand, until the final judgment where they're taken out of there and then thrown into the lake of fire. But I wouldn't think the angels are going to be waiting. Only Satan seems to be bound with a chain for 1,000 years. It's possible the other angels are bound in a chains for 1,000 years too, but the Bible says nothing about that. So the only passage I could find was that one in Matthew. Jamie Neal has a question. If there is no more sickness and death after the new heaven and earth come, why are there trees for healing in the New Jerusalem in the healing of the nations? That's a great question, Jamie. I would suspect it's for the initial healing. When we go into the New Jerusalem for 1,000 years, even though it's been the kingdom of heaven on earth, there's still death, there's still sin. So it could be that there are people that will need to take of that, and I know they're going to eat the tree of life, and they could be people that had injuries or things like that during the 1,000 years, and they're going to be healed from those leaves of those other trees, and then they're going to go into eternity with perfect bodies. Okay. Because the only ones that are told they're going to be changed and given a glorious body like Christ is the body of Christ, where Paul talks about, he shall change our vile body and fashion it like unto his glorious body. And that appears to take place in a moment in the twinkling of an eye. Okay. So that's a great question too. Good. These are coming in quick. I think, Sandy, we can keep going unless you've got something else.
No, I think it's good.
Okay. It looks like Dweden. Oh, I bet that's Dwayne. Can you comment on the lake of fire versus hell location? If that's not Dwayne, I apologize, but it looks like D Weed in, and that looks like a friend of mine, a very close brother friend of mine. So comment on lake of fire versus hell location. Yes, the lake of fire, in my opinion, Dwayne, has not been created yet. Hell is in the earth. So if you look at the Greek, you've got Hades, which is the place of the dead. You've got Gehenna, which is hell, God's prison, where the torments and in flames, like yes, that's Dwayne. Okay, brother, good. Where the rich man is from the story of Lazarus and the rich man. And then you've got also paradise, which is Abraham's bosom. So those two compartments are in Hades or Hades. And in between them seems to be a great gulf fixed. And I believe that's the abyss, the bottomless pit, where the angels currently are chained that sinned and are going to be released according to Revelation chapter 9. If you read, and now I'm drawing a blank on the passage, I want to say Isaiah 13, but it's where the expression is in Hebrew tohu vabohu, which is without form and void in Genesis 1:2. It's translated as the line of confusion and the stones of emptiness. It's either Ezekiel or Isaiah. I'm just drawing a blank right now. And that is a pronouncement of judgment upon Idumea, which is Edom. And it talks about the streams are going to be turned into burning pitch and everything else. Dwayne, I believe, and I haven't been shown otherwise, that the land of Edom is going to be turned into the lake of fire when the Lord Jesus Christ comes back. That's when it's literally going to be created for the devil, for the Antichrist and the false prophet to be thrown into. And then ultimately all of the wicked dead from hell are going to be cast in there. So if you read that passage, and I'm sorry I can't think of it, but if you just look up the word, the line of confusion of stones of emptiness in a concordance, you'll find the passage I'm talking about, and you'll see where that's a pronouncement on Idumea, which I believe is tying into the formation of the lake of fire. So location-wise, that's where I see it. Oh, thank you, Jeff. Isaiah 34:11. I was thinking 13, but I was way off. Thank you, Jeff. I can always count on Jeff, man. He's got the goods. And of course, Jeff posted some Hebrew up there that I can't read. So if you posted your question in Hebrew to taunt me, I don't know how to read all of that. Unless, wait a minute. No, I'm sorry. That's not. Yeah, it is. I can read that. Now I'm ashamed that I told him that. Jeff posted in Hebrew, Bereshit bara Elohim et Hashemayim vet Haaretz, which is in the beginning God created the heaven and the earth. Okay, that's the one verse in Hebrew I think I can read. Moises Martinez writes, were there giants in Jericho when Joshua and Israel took over the city? I have no doubt there were. There's no mention of them, obviously, so we can't definitively say there were, but it's very possible that they were. Giants in Jericho. The city of the moon is what Jericho means. So take what you will from that, you know. Mr. Club, are y'all going to do anything like GloryCon again? We hope to. I don't know when. The resources it takes to put on a conference are vast. And we are not to the point, you know, we had a little bit of funding that we used when we initially started this ministry, and we used that and we exhausted that. So now we're more in preservation mode, trying to keep this ministry going. So, by the way, it even looks like in Rumble you can donate to us if you want to. And I'm not trying to tell you to do that, but it's kind of cool that that's a feature. I think it might be true on YouTube as well. But so for whatever it's worth, anything you donate, whether it's through your subscriptions or through donating to Bible, Unlock the Bible Now, all of that, it goes into our operating fund. And if we can get the resources together to plan for something like that, I would love to do another, like a GloryCon, except I think we called it debriefing. And we had dear brother Ryan Peterson there, who we're going to go be seeing here in just a few minutes. But and then he promised he'd come back if we did another one. So I'm going to hold him to it. And I may have to remind him about that. Gianni, oh, hi, Gianni. How are you? I recognize you now. How do I explain the Trinity to a Jehovah's Witness? That boy. Good luck. Yeah, I wish I knew a magic formula. You know what, honestly, I would do with a Jehovah's Witness, and I say this about anybody, is focus on a person's personal salvation. Ask whether or not they know without question that if they died tonight, they would end up in heaven, and why. Because everything else is going to end up being a distraction. Jehovah's Witnesses are trained to debate the Trinity. A Mormon is trained to debate whatever. You know, a Church of Christ is trained to debate you on water baptism. So if you get entangled in those discussions, you fall into their trap, and it's a game I call yes, but. You'll say one thing and they'll say yes, but this, yes, but that, and they just run you round and round and round. I wouldn't waste their time, Gianni, and I wouldn't waste the Lord's time. I would cut to the chase. I mean, just get right over the target and drop the bomb. Hey, we can talk about the Trinity, but I want to know something. Are you going to spend eternity in heaven with the Lord Jesus Christ, and why? Do you know if you died tonight, you'd spend eternity with the Lord? That gets them off their ground that they're trained to debate, and it puts them on the defensive footing. And I would hammer them about the gospel. I really would, and about their testimony, their own personal salvation. And thank you, Sandy, for posting that for William. The audio podcast is not going anywhere. It's available on your favorite podcast app. Nothing is changing about Bible Ministry Podcast. Just the Sunday messages are going to be moving over to that website. And William also writes, 2 Peter 3:10, nuclear event or something more. Good question. If that's what I'm thinking of, William, and of course I've got to look it up to be sure. 2 Peter 3:10, because my memory is about like a sieve. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Boy, it sounds like it, doesn't it? The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up. I don't believe that the Lord is going to allow men to destroy themselves. I think that heavens melting in the day of the Lord, which could very well be the end of the 1,000-year reign of Christ that he's referring to here, even though the entire 1,000-year period is the day of the Lord, including the 7 years of tribulation. Okay. And Sandy, hey, when you type, you might want to mute your mic and then turn it back on when you need to speak, just because I can hear the typing a little bit. I don't know if it's just me or if anybody else can hear that, but I just wanted to make you aware of it. But anyway, so William, I think it's possible it could be a nuclear event, but I'm more inclined to think it's going to be something the Lord is going to do, and probably going to stay on something that is supernatural rather than man's nuclear capabilities. Because it seems to me that even the fallen angels and the UFOs are able to control nuclear devices, and I'm guessing the Lord could turn them off with a flick of a switch if he wanted to. So, Arlene, here's the typing. Thank you. So it wasn't just me. Moises, where are you guys moving the Sunday message? To BibleMysteries.podcast.com. Everything is going to BibleMysteries.podcast.com. Okay, Jeff. You're getting shushed, Sandy, by Jeff. So just reply to him and say, hey, I'll meet you at the restaurant. And just let him sit there and wait like he did for me the other day. So, okay, it is 8:27. I've got tons more questions that we could take from people that have written me. And let me do this. Let me edit that so it's up to date, because I've got more. But I think at this point, let's go ahead and invite all of you to join us in Ryan's room. Now, double check and look through this. I'm sorry, Sandy's right. The message will be on YouTube and Rumble still, but they're accessible through our Bible Mystery Podcast website. Everything's going to be on the website. And the truth of the matter is, the app that we developed and everything for Unlock the Bible Now was kind of before we had the podcast really going the way we have it now. So that was something we were doing. Right now, we're trying to morph everything into one thing, because people are confused about who are you? Are you Bible Mysteries? Or you Unlock the Bible Now? And we're just trying to get everything together into one location. So bear with us as we make these changes, but I think you're going to find in the end. And incidentally, one last shout out to everybody. If you have technical ability with website design, search engine optimization, or whatever, reach out to us and let us know if you've got those skills. We would love to talk to you and ask you if you could help advise us as we make these changes. I know a lot of us are like my age, and I grew up with dial phones, and I don't know the first thing about it. But we're going to head on over to Ryan Peterson's group, Thursday Night Theology. Ryan and I are going to talk about the 144,000, and I think you might be surprised at what we're going to find in the scriptures about that. So hold on to your hats. Thank you for being here tonight. Thank God for you, and we'll see you over at Ryan's room. Take care.